Guys, it's Grace,
Hi, it's Lorea.
and we are the Indigos, and we are not together anymore in LA. I'm back in Australia, sad face, and Ray's back in LA, and so this is our first one we're going to do without being with each other again. Um, and we decided that it's important that we know how to be confident. So that's going to be our topic of today. And Ray, you want to take it away?
Yes, basically the reason we decided to talk about confidence because I feel like a lot of people, just from observation, don't have confidence, whether it's in their tone, their body language, and I feel like that's something that Grace and I are very good at. It's a strong point for us where we can convey messages, we can speak up for ourselves, and we kind of wanted to just give you guys some of our ways of doing that and how we've been able to be confident because I think like everything else, it's practice. Things that you practice, you master. And after you get past the level of mastering something, it becomes innate and natural to you. So for confidence, to me at least, one thing I learned it very young, speaking up for myself. Tone is very important. Sometimes you'll hear people and their lack of confidence gives them away just in the resonance of their tone. They go to speak up and their voice is shaky or they don't know how to carry their voice. And that's something that I think is important when it comes to topics. Communication is key in so many things, whether it's in your personal life, in business, speaking up for anything that you want in life. You have to be able to speak up and fight for yourself. And doing it in a confident way does help. It has its advantages. And for me, I've learned what's allowed me to be confident is learning a lot about different subjects and being able to talk about them, being
Mm.
opinionated, having an opinion, you know? Some
Yeah,
things like if I don't know, huh?
yeah, no. I was going to say you are, yeah. That's a big practice of yours is to be confident with the execution of what you're saying. That's very much a big
Absolutely.
strong point of yours.
Yeah, and to me, confidence isn't always about speaking. Sometimes it's being smart enough to know when to be quiet as well. Being confident in knowing whatever it is you do or don't know. When it's topical things that I do not know anything about, I am quiet, or I'm more inquisitive where I'll ask questions. Um, Asking questions has led to my confidence because I've learned so much. And I feel like practicing speaking up for yourself, it makes it easier. You know, when you start, when I was really, really young, super incredibly shy, very like speak when spoken to. And that was something that my mother did teach me where speaking up was something that she practiced with me, where she'd put me in very uncomfortable situations where someone might ask my opinion, and instead of allowing me to shy away, she would say, well, what do you think? Speak up. They need to hear you. And that's something
Mm.
that you just have to practice. It doesn't come to all of us. It didn't come to me. It wasn't a natural thing for me to speak up and be opinionated. I was more
Mm.
quiet, reserved, and I would observe just everything about life, even things that I felt like I wanted to talk about. I didn't necessarily have the courage to speak up until I got to a point where it became natural. So for me,
Mm.
it was practice. You know, you're gonna have to get over that one hump of like eventually getting to a state where you're breaking the ice. But I do believe it comes easier. What about you, Grace? Did you grow up confident? How did you master that?
Well, I was actually very shy as well growing up in a lot of ways. Um, I grew up in a predominantly Caucasian school. So going into school and being someone that looked different, it put me, I guess, I jumped into the deep end, in terms of being able to hold myself and in my appearance, because that was, I mean, you see that first, right? That's what you look
Yeah.
at. You look at the visual. And so I was already different to everybody else that was around me. And so I I had to that was my life. I had to kind of work out how to be confident, to be really aesthetically different to everybody else around me. Um, so another way, I wasn't. I was. I was super shy, and I didn't really know how to talk to people or be opinionated. Probably not in the same context as you. I don't think I was like that. But for me, I was really good at sport. So a big way that I learned how to be confident in my abilities was to, express them, and gain confidence through my ability to be really super coordinated, and the capacity for me to learn sports very easily. And so my confidence grew probably from my ability to play sport. So that was a big part of my confidence in my execution of self-belief, as well, and which was a big part of that, growing up, was playing sport with people that were better than me all the time. So like I would always play with the guys, for example, and so I had to earn my place in the team, so it was kind of like I had to prove myself over and over and over again. And so like you're saying, it's that repetitive kind of notion of like, you needed to tell yourself that you need to, apply yourself, and you need to be confident in how you communicate. Whereas for me, my communication was through like sporting platforms. So I think that was a big part of my confidence building, was my ability to be able to play sport, and also to be confident in. I think that enabled me to be confident in my, I guess, my presence aesthetically, how I presented myself as well, in terms of how I looked and how I was different to a lot of the people at my school. So, and then the other thing is my mum put me into extra school curricular activities. So I was like playing sport outside of school, and playing in teams and with people I didn't even know. So that was a really great way for me to build the foundation to be confident in an environment that wasn't familiar to me. And it can be very daunting when you are shy as well, to go into a team sport where everybody knows one another and then you're the new person. And because I played a lot of sport, I did that with a lot of different teams. And then I was also in Girl Guides. Mum put me in Girl Guides. So that was also another variation of being in an unfamiliar environment, jumping in the deep end and just learning how to swim, just being able to be by myself and just to be able to interact with people confidently. So it was a process, and but because it started from a young age, like with you, it was something that I evolved and developed and worked out how to best go about meeting new people and being confident in myself.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that. I understand. It is a process. I feel like that's just hitting the nail on the head. Anything's a process, and this is one of those things that you do. And even taking chances. I tell people all the time, like, just taking that one chance, that initial jump, it helps. It betters you, opposed to being mousy and quiet. It does a disservice to who we are, And that was something my mother told me a long time ago, where, because she's probably the most confident person I know. And she had told me a long time ago, what's the difference between a person in front of you looking in the mirror? Why would you make that such a big difference? And I think that really helped me, just having that in my mindset, of making it where her entire point was to say, wherever you are, be comfortable, make yourself comfortable. Don't
Yeah.
put yourself in a mental state that you're uncomfortable, whether it's work, My mother's very like, anything you want, fight for it. What's the worst thing that can happen to you? Rejection is not that big of a deal. My mother told me that a long time ago, and I think that getting past that part, just keeping yourself in that
Yeah, well,
mindset
that's the hardest thing, isn't it? Like most people are fearful of rejection, and so that's where it's really difficult to be confident, is because people are scared that people won't like them, or people are scared that they're not going to be good
yeah.
at something, or yeah.
But you're talking about letters. Like, what is a no? Like, why is that a big deal? And if it's a no in one thing, rejection is protection. I always say that. That's kind of like just my reminder. Putting yourself out there, because to me, there's so much respect in being fearless. And that's confidence in itself, to say, I'm not worried about the end result. I'm worried about now what I'm in control of, and that is stepping forward and being confident and being who I am. You know, like just having your feet grounded and your 2 feet on the ground. Like that's important. And I think that more people need to understand that, because things give you away. Even if it's down to body language, you know, posture. My mother told me that a long time ago as well. It's something that you have to be cautious of. There are posture exercises, things like that, where you see people in their slouch, they look down, you know, they don't look at you in your eyes. And these are all things that you practice and master if
Mm,
it's not natural to you.
yeah,
You adapt
I
how
think,
to make.
yeah. Well, I was just thinking on that point that like a good way that people can master confidence is to firstly start with all the things that they're good at, that they know that they're good at, and keep kind of letting that grow and apply yourself to that practice. And then as you become more and more aware of how good you are at a certain thing, then your confidence will start building and building and building. And I think that's like, I mean, I chose sport. You know, that was my thing. I knew I was really good at it. So I was like, okay, that's my way to start the process of learning how to accept that I'm really good at something. And then the confidence started building on top of all of that. And then it turned
Oh
out
yeah.
around a bit later, like when I was a bit older, like in terms of like my appearance of being so different to everybody else, and my interests were really different as well to everybody else. Like nobody was really listening to R&B, hip hop, and rap and stuff, and I loved all that type of music, as well as all the other stuff that we learned at school. But I realized that the more and more I was in tune with myself, the more and more my confidence developed and evolved.
Absolutely. I mean, once you start mastering confidence in certain areas of your life, like you said, mastering things that you're good at, where you can be confident, it naturally kind of spreads to other areas of your life, you know, because once you get past that initial thing, which for you, it was sports, for me, it was just obtaining knowledge. And once you get past that, then other things do come, like you said, because then you start adding value. You know, it's almost like stock value once you
Yeah,
have certain under your belt, where it's like, okay, this is something tangible to remind myself of something that I'm worthy of, you know, because sometimes we need things tangible. It's hard to perceive value in things without something to compare it to or hold on to. So I
yeah.
think that, I mean,
That's
it's
our
such a great
physical.
start.
Yeah,
It's just
that's our
such a great
physical
start.
world. That's part of us being in the physical world and needing a tangible outcome, you know, because we can feel things, but it's often really difficult for us to actually believe them unless there is an end result. And if you know that you're really good at drawing, or you know you're really good at poems or like poetry, or you're really good at you know, writing or whatever it is, you know that the more and more you develop these skills, that's affirmations for you to know that you are building your self-esteem and your confidence in your abilities to portray yourself. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just also just another extension of, like you said, knowing yourself. And these are things where you're discovering aspects about yourself. So yeah, I mean, that's how we've achieved confidence. You know, it started young, and it doesn't matter what age you start. It's the fact that you start from that moment on. You know, you're forever changed.
I think it really is helpful as well to maybe if you are super shy and you don't, you know, you don't have much confidence, because there's a lot of people that don't have, you know, much confidence. It's okay, you're good at some things. What is that list? What does that list look like to you? And then write yourself perhaps mantras are really good to say over and over again, so you repeat them, and then you start to believe them. And you know, I haven't been the best at mantras, but I actually have been trying to make a conscious effort at mantras a bit more, because I actually do believe that they're really solidly conveying and with conviction about where you want to be in your life. So if you are seeking for more help to be more confident for a job interview, then you can say a mantra. You can be like, I would like to be more confident in this area and blah, 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 blah. And it will help you.
Well, yeah, because you're putting yourself in the constant state of reminding yourself of something to fixate and focus on. You know, that's what it is. It's literally making a conscious effort to be in that space. Me repeating this is taking my mind there. That's what makes it so. That's why prayer, all these things are so important, because as life goes on, we don't remind ourselves what to think, how to think, you know? So those things can put you in a place of pure intention.
Yeah, and that's the intention is exactly right. It's the focus of it, intention there. So, you know, the more and more you focus on that intention, the more and more you'll manifest it for yourself.
Absolutely. Yay,
All right.
I'm excited.
Yes.
Recover confidence. Yes. Be deliberate. Raise your voice. I don't want to hear anyone's voice trembling. Like, no. Be amazing, beautiful, confident men and women in this life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, you know how good it feels when you are confident in something. So we want more of that. We want you all to feel confident. I mean, there's times where, you know, Lorena and I are both not confident in certain situations, but I think because we always put ourselves in the deep end and just learn how to swim, figure it out, we're just like being able to apply ourselves to the intention. So, I mean, even doing this, what we're doing now, it takes a lot of confidence because we're putting ourselves out there and courageously kind of going, you know what, fuck it, we're just going to share. So,
yeah,
you know,
I think that we're just like, we just naturally just dive in. Well, I don't think I've even had the time to think whether it's a confident or non-confident move because I'm too busy submerging myself into whatever I'm doing. You know,
but that's the confidence. At the core of it is confidence to say what you feel, how you want to project that out there and convey a sharing notion behind all of this stuff. So at the core of it, there is confidence here. So, you know, I think it's really important that we touched on this, and we'll probably talk about it in more of a breakdown kind of scenario, like how to be confident at work or how to dress confidently or whatever it is. So, but yeah, so we'll wrap it up here, and we'll pick up another topic next time we see you guys on the flip side.
Thanks. See you soon. Don't forget to leave us comments. Anything that you want us to talk about, any type of topic, we're open to it. So can't wait to hear from you guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.